I am now live in the middle of situating myself. Hold on. All right. What's good, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's your boy Tenzin, one third of the SOS. I'm here to, kick off another Wednesday evening. How y'all feeling? To all my people live, thanks for coming in. To all my people who's going to watch it on the YouTubes, thanks for your support as always. But anyway, man, Georgia, man, they call it bipolar weather for a reason, okay? So earlier this so let's let me so Friday, no, Saturday, like I'm talking felt like fall weather, right? It is officially, well, it's not even winter yet. So technically it should be fall weather, but we're in December, so it should be cold, whatever. But yeah, so Saturday it was dang near 70 degrees at the highest. And it's so funny because I went to the Matrix slash video shoot party for Children of the Sun. Shout out to them, good folk, good folk. But yeah, man, I was expecting the worst because I thought the cold front was gonna happen that Saturday. So I'm expecting the worst. I got a leather jacket, I got gloves on, I got the fucking hat. I was ready. Man, oh shit. Let me take this shit the fuck. So yeah, but nah, the real cold front was Sunday, and holy shit, guys. Like, man, like I have to say, yeah, Sunday night was cold as hell. I was outside, just shit, fuck. Again, one of the worst parts about living with your folks, you know, you gotta do your vices outside. But nah, dude. I have to say, like the past couple of days, listen. Well, nah, I mean, yes, I have like on years that it snowed, but I'm just saying, like in recent years, like I don't think I've ever been so cold to the point where I had to put on a hat, gloves, and a thick jacket. My goodness. And I was still suffering. Monday morning, I was like, I was fully geared up. I was still suffering. I was like, motherfucker. Like walking to my building to go to work. And yeah, and it's like a 15-minute walk, but oof, felt like 30. But anyway, they say it's supposed to pick back up, which it was 60 degrees today. That's what I'm saying. Like Georgia just does whatever it wants, but you know what? I'd rather have bipolar weather than the extreme weather that we get to the south of us and what we get to the north of us. Okay, I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. And thank goodness for the dice roll that life that brought me to live down here. But yeah, I don't. At least in my time of living, yeah, this is a wooden thing, so I knocked on it. Um, yeah, as far as I was alive, I don't think Georgia ever had like an extreme, like, I mean, we had some catastrophic event. Well, catastrophic to us, but not. I'm talking like we ain't never had no category 5 hurricane fuck us up or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we never had like some fucking devastating earthquake to just crumble our buildings. I mean, I think last year or earlier this year there was like, I think one of our neighborhoods did flood, and that was pretty bad. I don't know. I don't know if we had any casualties. If we did, then peace be upon them. But I don't think we had any casualties. But I mean, yeah, like this certain part of Atlanta definitely, suffered some damage. But nah, like I don't think we ever got hit with like, like I'm talking like, biblical plague weather. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had our extreme conditions for us. Like, I will never forget Snowmageddon 2014. Peace be upon the casualty that we had. But, people from up north, man, they think that's a fucking joke. I have to say, excuse me, somebody died. So and and it's the thing is like down here, like and like I said, thank goodness we did not get any, you know, biblical plague weather as far as I'm alive. Had to knock again, you know, just because I'm an atheist don't mean I can't be superstitious at times. Hold on, let me bring in B. If I can find the clicker. Hold on. Welcome to the stage.
Yo, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Shout out to the SOS.
Yeah, man, I was just talking about Georgia weather, and I knocked on wood twice, so
Yeah,
I might do it. As long as I was alive. As long as I was alive, like we had like I said before, we had events that was catastrophic to us, like
yeah,
as far as our standard. But like I was all it's like we seem to be in this sweet spot where at least as long as I'm alive, where
yeah,
like we never had no like plague ass weather, you know what I'm saying? Like no category 5 hurricanes, no like
right, right.
extreme earthquakes or nothing like that, Whereas like yeah, like down south, hurricanes. Up north, tornadoes. Like, if you go to like Oklahoma and shit, you're like, bro, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
like
Like,
Midwest. Yeah, Midwest is like more tornado, I feel like. And then you got like like Northeast. Northeast is like well, I guess some tornadoes depending on where you at. But for the most part, it'll be like blizzards and stuff or like mudslides. I hear a lot about mudslides. Um let's see, mudslides. Uh, we don't really get too many earthquakes though. That's more of a West Coast thing.
okay, like, yeah, because like I said, like we've like now, like I said, we've had catastrophic weather to our standard, like,
Mm,
Snowmageddon 2014, or like extreme low temperatures. Like, like you'll look at like if you was to watch the news, you'd have been like, oh shit, nigga, that's a normal winter day for us. But but to us it's like since we don't have what y'all got, yeah, like if the temperature drops like to the teens, like yeah, we're like niggas setting up warming stations,
I
so
remember
our
a
homeless
couple
can
years
die.
ago. I forgot when exactly. One year, but that year it had it hit the negatives one time, and I remember I was like, "Hey yo, like this is
Oh, like up
yeah,
there?
yeah."
Shit,
This was a couple years ago though. I
I
can't
can't
remember
imagine
exactly when,
the
but it was
negative.
bad. It was yeah, it was bad. And because like the wind chill was like real dangerous, and they was pretty much like, "Yo, stay in the house, stop trying to go outside." And
Right.
some folks listened, some folks didn't. But
Man,
nah,
you would hold on. I gotta say, you a dangerous motherfucker if you out here talking about, hey yo, what's the move? And it's like negative whatever the fuck. You a
bruh, I
dangerous ass nigga, bro.
I knew people didn't care. Like I remember when our Snowmageddon happened. That was like I want to say like 2010, 2011. I think it hit like 2 feet of snow. Like we couldn't even open our front like our screen door.
Two
Like
feet?
I, I or close to it. Yeah, it was crazy.
Hell no. Hold
And
on.
I
That's like
remember,
up to your shin, right? Like, hold on.
yeah, just about like it was crazy. Like I remember we was off school for about a week, if not more than that. Like it was crazy. Like the governor shut down the state and was pretty much like, bruh, I don't want to see nobody driving, nothing. Like he was like, yo, I'm not playing. Like, do not be out here on the roads. And
Yeah.
for the most part, people did. But every once in a while, you'd see a car going through the streets, and you just be like, bruh, like, what's even going through your brain, dog?
Right.
Like, why are you out here like this? Like, why even risk the damage to your car at the very least,
Right.
if not to you or another person?
Because
Like,
I know the streets was probably froze.
oh, the streets was froze. Like, every once in a while they might try to send a salt truck, but for the most part, especially in the early days of it, they was like we gonna wait, like, because it
Yeah.
was like,
'Cause you
bro,
know how
like,
tragic that'd be if the salt truck crashes? Like, god damn.
yeah, it was it was so bad. I think it was like the first or second day of it. Somebody I remember because my mom made us go out there with the shovel and tried to shovel stuff, and I'm like, "Mom, you can't drive nowhere anyway. Like, why are you making us go out there and shovel?" But she was like, "I need the walkway shovel." So anyway, we was out there, and at one point, I swear to God, this couple, I don't know how far they had came. They had came on the street in skis. They was in full ski gear going through the streets.
Hell no.
It was crazy.
Just
Yeah, well, they was walking it, but yeah, like it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was wild. It was.
You
I'm
know,
just.
at least they making the best out of it. But yeah, that's one of the things you just can't make up. Like,
Yeah,
wow, these niggas really got the skis on. Like,
yeah.
but I mean, like, so do you have like snowshoes?
I mean, I got boots. I mean, they're not the best, but like they reliable. Like like they've been pretty reliable.
So they're like non-slip.
Uh, yeah, kind. They're supposed to be. They're Nike boots, so they're supposed to be non-slip. But like for real, like when the ice is out, they for the most part they're all right. But like, yeah, I've definitely slipped on ice with these boots for sure. So
Mm.
like, I definitely got to get like better boots. Like, I probably got to go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that for them. But like, but nah, yeah, I remember the time I had screwed up was it was in college and it had snowed and it had snowed real crazy. Um, and I went out and I had these like they was almost like dress boots kind of,
Mhm.
but I had worn them in the snow before, but not in like no heavy snow. Boy, I went out there and my feet froze
Oh
instantly,
damn.
and I was oh my god, bro! I couldn't feel my toes for almost an hour. I was like panicking,
Damn.
and
Oh yeah,
I
like
knew after that I'm like, bro, I need some new boots ASAP.
yeah. So I guess like up there, like they definitely have like them thick winter socks, like for sure
Oh
on
yeah, yeah,
sale.
you could
Like
find them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Especially like when the weather first starts to turn. Yeah, you could find them. But yeah, no, it was crazy. Well, this past week was crazy with the snow. It was like real bad. Like they know a bunch of schools and stuff canceled earlier this week and everything because the snow was real heavy. And like that's always the thing too. People don't realize is like our snow. Yeah, it comes around December and stuff, but our snow don't
mhm.
really leave until like late February, early March. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
like
Yeah, I've
PA
seen it.
be PAing. Yeah, like yeah, our snow stay around for a while. I remember one time. I can't remember when this was either, but I remember the snow stuck around dang near almost through April.
Damn. I know y'all was hot, like, all right, bro. Cause well, yeah, cause my short stint up there as a youth, obviously I was stoked, like, wow, this is snow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it got old pretty quick. Like,
Yeah,
but one of my favorite things to do was like slam myself on the snow because I
y-
guess there was so much of it, like it would
yeah,
thud the fall.
right.
But now, little Southern Marcus did not know, not Tenzin, damn. Anyway, little Southern Tenzin didn't know that that snow eventually gets hard.
Oh yeah, especially when like the air. It's usually when like the air, the air gets real chilly, or maybe it was warm the day before and then the air got real chilly. So like, the snow kind of melted a little bit and then hardened back up from the new chill. Like that snow, it's like a small thin layer of ice just
Right.
above the powdery snow. And you gotta break down up under that joint to get to the powder. Like, but if you just hit the thin layer of ice on the top, pain.
Yeah, bro. I was not prepared. I felt like them WWE niggas after they went through a table. I was like, oh,
The worst too is when So once it starts melting, and you like, it's like you make like your last little snowball. At that point, once it starts like really melting, it's just slushy ice at that point. It's not even really snow. So getting hit with them snowballs, now granted, them that snow is easier to make snowballs with because like it's more, it can compact
The
better,
slush, yeah,
and it can compact better, but at that point it's just straight ice. And man,
yeah.
I knew somebody, I ain't gonna say no names on here, but they went to my high school, and I knew a man who made one of them type of snowballs and hit a dude in the face with it when we was at school and gave him a concussion.
Damn, that shit
Black
was.
black design, everything.
Oh wow. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like snow gets old so fast. It's like even down here now, like when the every blue moons that we
Yeah.
get snowfall. It's like, oh yeah, cool. All right, wrap this shit up.
Nah, man, I can't imagine living in like the mountainous areas with their snow.
Oh my
Like,
god.
what is it? Like, I got a friend. He works in Colorado at a ski resort, and it's a place in Colorado. It's supposed to be like the highest. It's like the town is supposed to be like the highest elevation point, or the town is the highest elevation town in the country. I think it's called like Leadville or Leadville or whatever. Man, I couldn't imagine living up there, boy.
Man, what like you would just have to pay me. Like I hope the pay is good because I'll be pissed off every day having to
That's the thing.
commute
I
and
never
do that
asked him
shit.
what he'd be getting paid, but he been up there for like
Like
3, 4 years now. He been up there a long time, and I
I
just be
guess he
like,
likes it.
yeah,
Shit.
yeah,
I'm gonna need Balto and the other dogs to get me to work. The fuck?
yeah. Oh yeah, he's tried to get me to come up, and I'll be like, yeah, bro. If I do, I gotta come during the summer, bro, because I'm not
Yeah.
coming up for
'Cause I
no
mean, cause that's how I be. That's how I treat PA. So I can only imagine
one.
Colorado. Like, yeah, it's got to be springtime or above. I can't.
Yeah, man. That because that stuff is crazy, man. I can't imagine living in no area like that where like when snow comes, that's it. You just done for it. Like, well, for real, I couldn't imagine living in a place like Alaska where that's all you got, essentially. Like,
Yeah, or
or I
especially
guess,
like,
or if you
especially
go
like
to like one of them
the
areas where like the snow kind of melts, but like, but nah, like, yeah, but when you in like deep, deep Alaska, like, yeah, I can't imagine
yeah,
living there.
especially those weird parts where it be like nighttime for a month and daytime for a
Oh,
month. You
bro,
be
I
like,
couldn't. I knew.
what?
I remember watching 30 Days a Night, and I thought that was just that movie, and they was like, "Nah, like that's real. That's why they made
See,
the movie." Like,
thank good, thank goodness vampires aren't real, bro. They run that town like,
bruh, it's a done deal. Like, I couldn't
well, at least
imagine.
every month, like at least like one, like what every other month they'll be
See,
running
and if
shit.
you
You
lived
know,
there, it would probably be different. But if you like moved there, your
yeah, that'll
sleep
fuck your
would
whole
be
day up,
so jacked up. Like, you'd be
right?
sleeping whole days away.
You be like, nigga, what?
Yeah, man, a whole month full of just pitch darkness. Like,
And like neither of them is ideal. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Either a month of pitch black or a month of daylight. Like, so that means you got
Yeah,
to buy one of those masks
yeah,
to go to sleep, probably, or get like a heavy curtain.
and for real, like, especially like in them areas where that be happening, like it's like dang near out in the wilderness and stuff. Like, boy, I'd be afraid somebody trying to rob me every day. Like,
Right.
just like,
Or are there polar bears in Alaska? I hope not.
I think so. I'm
God
not sure.
damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got polar bears up there.
Oh my god. It's like, it's I hate to say this live, but and I get it, the environment. But I hate when they try to use polar bears as like a reason for me to care because then it's like, good, they're evil. Like, I ain't never heard of no fucking animal that just hunts you for miles. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like, nigga, damn, leave me alone. fuck?
Yeah, you can't even you can't reason with them either. They just be like, "Nah, you shouldn't have died today. Like you dead."
Right, like, and they're just on go mode. Like
Yeah,
it's not even self defense. It's
and like at least now we got stuff like bear spray and all this other stuff where maybe you can survive, and big emphasis on maybe. But can you imagine
right.
back in the days when our Inuit brothers and sisters was out there living in that area and it was their home and it was their land. And you imagine they wake up, next thing you know, you look across and a polar bear staring at you right outside your tent.
Be
You
like,
gotta go spear,
right.
you gotta go spears up
But
against this thing.
I mean, and imagine like, yeah, like imagine like a nigga like me back then, like, nearsighted. They probably
Yeah,
didn't know what glasses was yet.
yeah,
Nigga, that nigga was done. Like, cause that
yeah,
camouflage is crazy.
yeah.
And I heard like technically polar bear fur isn't white, it's actually clear. But I don't know. Some with the optics, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that
But yeah, oh my god, it's like, but yeah, no, like if you show a nature commercial talking about saving the environment, just talk about the glaciers, okay?
before. Dog.
If you show me a starving polar bear, I'm like, hurry up, go drown yourself,
Yeah.
you piece of shit. Like
That's why, like back in the day, if somebody was successful at killing one, that's why I
it's
understand
a feast.
why they was wearing the pelts and stuff. Because
Hell yeah.
I'd be wearing that everywhere. Like,
Now the only time I love polar bears is on Coca-Cola commercials, which I barely see them on them anymore, or
yeah,
the Golden Compass movie. Like that was my nigga there.
yeah. I watched the show.
I still need to get into it.
Yeah, I
There's
watched
only
the
two
show.
seasons, right?
That was three.
Three. Did it actually finish or was it canceled?
I think technically it finished, but I think from what I was hearing, where they finished at was like the first like arc of the stories because I think there's more books after that. But like that's like the first. That's like it finished the first huge arc, and then like because I think like the other books was written later than the original trilogy. So yeah, it did finish in the natural conclusion point. But nah, the only thing I I heard it happen in the book. I just personally didn't like the ending. You know, I felt a bit cheated on some stuff,
Uh,
but like apparently that's how it happens in the book, so it is what it is. But nah, yeah, the polar bears was getting down in that show too, like that. Yeah, yeah, it was dope.
bro, you remember when like, dude, when he knocked the other polar bear's jaw off, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Was not expecting that on a PG-13 movie, but I guess since they were animated.
hmm
But I know you explained this to me before, but now what's are the humans relying upon the demons or are the demons relying upon the humans? Because I think if I remember on the movie, like
it's
some
kind of
people,
both.
some people's demons will die and they will die too, and then but sometimes I'll see the human would die, but the demon will kind of just be like, well, damn, well, like
Nah, it's a bit of both. The demon is kind of like your soul personified. Like you technically still have a soul, but like that is like the main representation of the soul. Essentially, y'all like share a soul essentially.
okay,
So nah, like you can't really exist without the other. Like so, like yeah, if you offed the demon, most likely the human was probably gonna die.
and
And
vice versa.
yeah, pretty much vice versa. But like I guess in that world too, like they don't really from what I don't know, it's not really explicitly said, but the way I kind of figured it was like if you live in that world, you kind of don't really be killing the demons like that. So essentially, you're going after human to human
Okay,
violence anyway. So you know what I mean? Because like otherwise, yeah, everybody would just be killing each other's demons and killing the person. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
but I feel like it's probably one of them unspoken things. Like, nah, bro, that's come on. Like, he
Not,
got a
but
rat for a demon. Like, what you doing that for? Like,
right.
that's crazy. Like,
But it should be funny because wasn't name Sam Elliott? I know his character like
yeah,
like Like why they gave his demon a southern accent too? It's like, all these British people. Here's Sam Elliott.
Well,
That's funny
well,
as hell.
because
Like,
the show equivalent was played by Lin Manuel Miranda, and
oh,
like
so
he loved.
Sam Elliott's character was actually like in the book too. Okay, I thought
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be like, well, because like that's an alternate universe, so they don't really got America per se, but like they're supposed to be America, and that character is supposed to be American from what I can catch, you
okay,
know. So yeah, so like yeah, Lee Scoresby, I think it was the character's name, but yeah, it's different. There's two very different portrayals for sure, like because like Sam Elliott kind of seemed like a wise old man or whatever, whereas like your boy what's his name? What did I just say? Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah, he's more
yeah.
like almost like a Han Solo type. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
okay,
yeah. But he does a bit of a act. He don't do the full on Southern joint, but I think he tried to like give one a little bit. Without it sounding too crazy. And
right.
whoever played the demon, I think tried to do it a little bit too.
But nah,
But
that shit was
nah,
so funny. Like,
it is
is it still
interesting.
like a rabbit on the show?
Yeah, it was a rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah. It was interesting some of the stuff that was different. Well, cause like I don't know if they had planned to do this in the second movie or not, you know, and then they just never got one. But there's a
Oh.
whole other main character. Granted, like that little girl is like the main character, but there's a whole other main character that's supposed to come that we never saw in the movie at all. It was supposed to be a black kid named Will. I think
Mhm.
that was his name. And yeah, he's supposed to be from like the regular, like our regular world and
Oh,
stuff.
interesting.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like you don't see like they ain't talk about him nothing. Like it was just
Like, not even in the show?
oh no, in the show, he was in the show. He was a main character in the show. He comes straight up
Oh,
in the
okay.
first season. I'm talking about in the movie, they didn't even hint at the possibility.
Oh,
Like,
okay. They
you
didn't
know,
mention our universe at all.
nah, like it was like actually no, I think in the beginning when Daniel Craig's giving that speech and he was like, "Oh, maybe there's a world out there where humans don't need demons or something like that." And he kind of says it, and it was a throwaway line, I think. I don't know. It's been years since I watched that first movie, but like they never got no sequel, so I don't know if they was planning to bring him on later or not. But I just thought that was because I was surprised when I was watching the show, and they showed this whole other main character kid, and I'm like, who is this? And sure enough, I looked it up, and yeah, he's supposed to be the other main character. I'm like, yo, what? Like that's crazy.
Hmm. Well, then, yeah, I really start. I gotta, yeah, I gotta start that show.
Yeah, no, the show was pretty dope. Definitely say too. I feel like the movie was way more optimistic, at least because I'll say the events of the first season is essentially all of that movie.
Okay,
So I definitely say
but
the
it's just from
movie.
that. But it's just from Will's perspective, I guess.
Nah, it's so the main story does follow the little girl, but you do see Will and stuff. That I don't want to give it away, but like there's
Okay.
you do follow Will at certain points too, but yeah, like the whole main story from the movie is essentially the first season of the show. And it's crazy because like there is a bit, and I think it may be because the movie was marketed to kids, there's a bit more optimism to the movie than there is to the show because they portray people in way different lights. Like even from the beginning, you like Daniel Craig's character is like kind of he's mysterious, but he's like it's like he's kind of mysterious for good or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think James McAvoy plays that character in the show, and from like the beginning, your
What's that
boy's a
Scottish dude?
yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
nice.
from
Okay.
Split, yeah. Yeah, boy, he's a scumbag. Like, and that's not even a spoiler. They show you that within like the first couple minutes. Like, it's crazy. And it's so wild how like each one is kind of portrayed. You know what I mean?
Okay. So they're portrayed differently too.
Yeah.
All right.
But nah, yeah, it's definitely dope. Like, I definitely think it was worth a watch. It for real, it didn't really get a whole lot of love when it was on though. I thought that was weird. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like that's
cause
kind
I
of why,
always heard of the show, but I just never actually watched it when it was syndicating.
right? I think too that's kind of why like that final season, that final third season, I feel like they kind of had to rush some stuff because I feel like HBO was just trying to
Mm.
get it out and be done with it because I feel like I think they was probably reflecting that not a lot of people was messing with it. Which, like I said, I feel like they could have went at least 5 seasons with it. You know,
Mm.
but nah, it was still dope. Speaking of Russian stuff though, as we gonna inject some more pop culture stuff in here. Yeah, bruh, Marvel is real foul, bruh. Apparently,
Well, what happened?
which like I don't. Let me get this out the way. So first, Marvel is planning on dropping the Wonder Man show entirely
The
on
Wonder Man?
Wonder Man. Yeah, he's a character from the comics. He's like an actor who has superpowers and all the type of stuff. Well, he's white in the comics, but they made him black for the MCU. He's gonna be played by
Okay.
Yahya Abdul Mateen.
Oh,
Anyway,
hey,
um,
he's double dipping. Ain't he a DC character too? What the fuck?
well,
Okay,
I
whatever.
guess not anymore since that
Oh,
continuity
that's
is
right.
dead. Yeah. Uh, well, anyway, they're dropping the show all together January, like at the end of January, essentially. Which I know a lot of people have this argument between weekly releases and binge stuff. I don't care which way you do it. Actually, for real, if I'm being honest, I prefer binging instead of having to wait a week.
Yeah, me
I know
too.
what everybody always be talking about. Oh, well, we want to have discussions and stuff like that. I'm like, all y'all do is make stupid fan cams on TikTok and argue on Twitter. I don't nobody care about y'all discussions. So yeah, e- everybody's mad that they're dropping it as a binge model all at once at the end of January. I don't care about that. What I do care about is that they've barely promoted the show and it comes out
Mm.
in less than a month. That's the thing I
Uh-oh.
feel like people need to be focusing more on because Marvel has done this now to 3 shows. Ironically, all of them have been black led shows. Ironheart, they dropped pretty much with no marketing, unceremoniously. They just dropped it randomly. It was 6 episodes, and they dropped them 3 episodes at a time. I feel like, see, that is a show I would say if you only have 6 episodes, then yeah, you should do it weekly. You know what I mean? Like 8 and up, yeah, I can see doing the binge model. But if you gonna have 6 episodes and then you just
Yeah.
drop them apparently with this no fanfare, no nothing, then they had a mini series called Eyes of Wakanda. It was animated. This was supposed to be about, how like the Wakandan people had their own secret agents, with the stuff on the lip and everything, like
Yeah.
yeah, the war dogs and stuff. That was supposed to be about different war dogs throughout history, and it
Mm.
was 8 episodes,
That
but it was animated.
that sounds very interesting.
It was great. Again, no barely any promotion whatsoever. They just dropped it all. 8 episodes. Again, well, I think that had like, I think it was like 2 episodes a week. So it was like 4 weeks, 2 episodes a week. But still, there was like no fanfare for it, barely. Like they just threw it out. You know what I mean? And I think this all comes on the heels of the fact that, well, I think there's 2 reasons why. A, people been complaining, phase 4 and phase 5, talking about it doesn't match the quality of the first 3 phases and none of the projects are hitting and Marvel fell off and they haven't been good since Endgame. And so, and a good amount of that crowd, not to say all of y'all before anybody get all mad, but a good amount of the crowd who was saying stuff like that was angry, mainly white fans who was mad that most of the newer stories focused on characters of color and women and stuff like that. Now, that's not to say all of them were great, but they just would trash every single one of them, you know. And I think now, because Kevin Feige has pretty much been talking about how after the next two Avengers movies, they're gonna do a reboot of the MCU, and I think he's trying to appease those people, and nothing personifies that more with the fact that it was revealed that Steve Rogers, well, they're bringing back, our Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, but then they announced that Steve Rogers is coming back as Captain America, which is such a slap in the face to Anthony Mackie because it's just like y'all didn't even really give him a chance.
Oh damn. Okay. Because yeah, I thought he was supposed to have agreed to just live his life out.
Right. Well, he's supposed to be cameoing or something. So I don't know. It as of right now, it don't sound like he's coming back full time. But to me and to the outside world, it pretty much reads as you don't have confidence in the Captain America you got, so you gonna bring this dude in to sell more tickets. And all y'all doing is giving credence to all the people who've been complaining since 2021 that why is he Captain America? Uh, he's not my Captain America. My Captain America doesn't look like that. And now all Kevin Feige has done is essentially kiss the behinds of all the people who went and who's been saying that stuff for the past 4 years. And it's sad. And
Go
even
go
with his
go
movie,
broke.
his movie, I'm not gonna say it was the best, but it wasn't terrible. And now essentially because the movie didn't do that well, now he's gonna get, like he's kind of getting his feet cut out from under him. And I think it's jacked up. And that's what I'm saying too with all the other black heroes, with all these other black shows are getting trashed and or scrapped or put on hold because apparently the Ironheart show got filmed back in like 2023 or 2024. I think it was 2023. It was supposed to be released right after apparently Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther 2, and it got held because a lot of the backlash and stuff, and everybody was like, oh, Marvel's dead, and people kept complaining too that like there's too much Marvel content and Marvel needs to stop releasing all this stuff, so they shelved the series and they held it for 2 years just to throw it out unceremoniously. You know what I mean? And yeah, the whole thing is crazy. Like, so essentially, if you guys were fans of the more diverse stories they were telling with the MCU and all that stuff, it's pretty much the writing on the wall. And I think a part of it also has to do with who we have in power right now here in this country and the type of people who are leading. I think it's all a thing of the white guys are coming back. So,
MCU.
yep, yep.
But you know what though? I was actually watching a video of that dude, the Birdman. He was responding to that critical drinker dude, and because I guess he had a problem with the new Supergirl movie coming out.
Hmm.
But yeah, but he was just saying like basically like nah, this is based on an actual comic that sold pretty well. Like
Yeah,
he's just making stuff up,
yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
oh,
I mean, yeah, when it comes to the Supergirl thing, I think a lot of people is upset for the weirdest reasons. My only issue with Supergirl and essentially a lot of the new DC stuff, literally, even though it may be quote unquote more comic accurate, which I've never been a huge comic accuracy dude, like, but even though it might be more comic accurate, I think my problem with a lot of the James Gunn DC stuff is like they all feel like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I mean? It's just like it kind of all feels the same. And I'm not gonna
I
say
mean,
I
well,
hate.
that's why I'm wondering how he's gonna do Batman because
Right,
obviously, Superman needs to be colorful and
right.
happy and all that, but Yeah, like I wonder how he's gonna do Batman
Yeah.
then, But he did say that, he'll give his folks their own reign, I guess, with
I
that
mean,
movie.
I it sucks he couldn't get Matt Reeves to agree because low key I just would have preferred him mashing it up with your boy, um, Robert Pattinson. Like, which I'm
Mm.
excited for the new Robert Pattinson movie. Like I said the only
Oh
issue I
yeah.
had with the Matt Reeves Batman stuff was he's talking about, oh, he wants to make it realistic. I'm like, I mean, no disrespect, but we already got a realistic Batman. That's what all the Christopher Nolan movies was. So you just gonna make them again? Like, it's just
Yeah.
like I don't really understand that. It's like, oh, I want a grounded Batman, realistic. I'm like, why? Like, we already had that. Like,
And plus, it's like we kind of get that anyway, like to an extent. I mean, as far as any superhero, I mean, that's as probably as quote unquote realistic as you're gonna get since he's immortal.
right,
But like, no, like watching the cartoon. I mean, besides every now and then some super natural person comes through, like it was pretty realistic. Like
right,
so
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I said you know, and this is just a me personal thing. I don't want anybody else to like take this as like everybody got to do this. I just am not really excited about the new DC stuff. You know, I know people gonna yell I'm a Snyder cultist or whatever in the comments. I don't know. I don't care. But like I said, I just I, I respect James Gunn as a filmmaker and everything. I think he's dope. I just feel like a lot of this stuff feels like stuff we've seen before with Marvel. It's just like if I wanted to watch Marvel movies, I'd go watch Marvel movies. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know,
I mean, I'm just glad to get DC movies where the screen isn't dark. I'm just like, thank
mm,
goodness.
I don't know. I
But
never
then again,
had
I
a
mean,
problem with
Blue Beetle and
that. Yeah.
Shazam didn't have that problem.
Right.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. Something about Superman and Batman. I was like, God damn. Like,
I don't know. I never had that problem. I never got why people said they couldn't see anything. I feel like there was, it wasn't like super vibrant colored, but like nothing ever felt like too dark to me. I don't know. I
I
never
don't know.
really had
Maybe
a
it
problem.
was just the color scale on the camera. I don't whatever the term is. I don't know. Like how they put that yellow filter over Mexico on all these movies. Like that's how I felt. It's like I feel like they put Gothic scale over it or something. I was just like, what the fuck
Cause
is
like
this?
I remember like with the Zack Snyder Justice League like movie, like I felt that was probably the most colorful out of all of them. Well, actually, no, my bad. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman felt real. I know he didn't direct it, but like the first Wonder Woman was low key kind of written by him and his wife. So I felt that
Mm.
I felt that that movie was like pretty colorful. The first Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was.
And then yeah, Zack Snyder Justice League. I felt like a decent amount of that was pretty like colorful.
Yeah, there were some colorful scenes, but then when it
And
was
then
nighttime, goddamn, it was nighttime.
was it Aquaman? Aquaman had
Yeah, that was colorful,
yeah, yeah,
especially when we were in Atlantis. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, the colorful thing, it is what it is. I guess to me, my issue with the Superman movie, I just kind of felt like I don't know. I guess I was kind of a mindset of like, cause everyone's like, oh, everything's happy and everything, thank God, and I'm just like, but if it's a smile you got to force, does it really count? You know what I mean? Because it felt like it was forced positivity a lot of the time, and like I felt like it
I
was.
didn't get that.
I felt like a lot of it felt like we have to be positive, or otherwise people are going to complain like the last Superman. You know what I mean? And if
Oh,
you feel like you have to do it, it doesn't come as sincere to me. That's all.
I mean, I didn't really get that. But I mean, I like both versions because because I'm one of those people that's like, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like this argument, but when people would complain about Zack Snyder's Superman, that's not the real Superman. Like, nigga, what the fuck is the real Superman?
Right.
Superman is fake. So Superman is gonna be however Zack Snyder writes him to be. be.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand that different continuities are gonna have different because like an injustice, Superman is evil.
Right.
Like that's not the real Superman either, right? But
Right.
y'all like him. So I mean, I like both versions, but I didn't get like a forced feel of it. I just got like,
Right.
okay, they went with like, the cheese like I mean, when I say cheesy, I mean it as a term of endearment, not like
Hmm.
critique. But like, oh, okay, they're going with the cheesy, hey, citizen, like innocent,
Right.
like optimistic Superman,
Yeah.
But I
Which
never
like
got like
I
forced.
grew up with that one, and I
Mhm.
did love that one too. I used to defend that version of Superman with my life when I was a kid, and everybody was like, "Oh, Superman sucks. He's boring and everything." And I used to be like, "Man, no, he's not." You know what I mean? Like, and so don't get me wrong, I don't hate that version of Superman at all. That's the one I grew up with. However, I always felt like that one of the reasons why Superman was always so disrespected as a character was because like he was constantly stuck in that vein forever. Like people kept seeing him in the silver age, golden age stuff, you know what I mean? Like, faster than a speeding
But
bullet type stuff. And
well, but that's the people who never actually took the time to at least just read one Superman book. You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
and don't get me wrong, I hear you. I was just saying that I felt like that was like, I felt like Superman as a character was
But yeah, but
constantly
that
getting
was like,
held back by
yeah,
that.
that was his
Yeah.
reputation. Like a
Right.
lot of people
And
would be like, man, he's a Boy Scout. He's
well, like,
boring. He's too
and
powerful.
well, not even
Like,
just that. I just felt me personally growing up. I always felt like there was more they could do with Superman, but I feel like even the writers themselves got stuck in that mindset, and they were always afraid to leave it. Whereas, like, I feel like there's been several different versions of Batman and Wonder Woman and a whole bunch of other heroes that weren't just constantly ham fisted into a certain archetype. Uh, well, I'd argue until at least the Dark Knight trilogy, because low key, I feel like there have been issues with Batman after the Dark Knight trilogy, but I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, yeah, I feel like Superman was kind of stuck as a character for a long time. And what I liked about not only just the Zack Snyder Superman, but even I remember a lot of people got mad at the new 52 Superman. They was ticked off because like he
really?
because he hooked up with Wonder Woman and he like had a bit of an edge to him. And he wasn't edgy. He wasn't going around just doing crazy stuff, but he had a bit of an edge to him. He was snarky and quick on his feet, and he was confident too. He had a confidence to him, and you know, I liked that Superman too. Like I liked the fact
Right.
that they tried something new with him, and
So
I
like
just thought,
basically, so basically, how you describe like he didn't act meek. Basically, he kind of like knew he was powerful. Like, you know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right, and he
yeah.
still would do the Clark Kent thing, like the shrug of shoulders, all that type of stuff. But like, yeah, he wasn't really unsure of himself. He had low moments, he had high moments, but like he felt different. And because so many people got mad, they killed that version off and replaced him with a more cookie cutter Superman and everything.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm just like, this is the version of Superman y'all been crying for decades, claiming y'all wanted something different with Superman, and we finally get it. And y'all like, no, go back to the cookie cutter version. And I felt the same way with the
Ah,
Zack Snyder stuff because I was like, we finally got a Superman. Yeah, and he still was unsure of himself and he wasn't really confident or whatever. But like, this was a Superman who, when he had to fight, he fought. And I remember
mhm.
at the time as a kid, I wasn't upset by it, but I was shocked at the Zod death. But even then, I feel like even I wasn't really. I think I was it 2013? I would have been, yeah, freshman in high school. So yeah, I remember even then I was like, okay. I mean, I understand why he did it because people was
Mhm.
literally about to die, and it was
And, and that's the and the people who treat hating Zack Snyder like it's their career. They, bro, they hate that he kills Zod. I don't know why, but I'm like, were y'all watching the
Well, because like the
movie?
argument I always see is he could have grabbed him and flew in the air. Y'all forgetting this man had powers too. Y'all thought he was finna let him grab him and put him in the air? Like again, y'all are everybody. I feel like when they talk about that argument, they forget that Zod was a
Yeah,
person
it's a
with
Kryptonian
agency,
as well.
and he not only that, he had his own agency. He wasn't mindless. So okay, let's say he grabbed him. So he was holding him like this, right? He had him in the headlock, and y'all said, "Oh, he should have just jumped up and flew him out of there." What stops Zod from breaking the chokehold, coming back down, and killing people again? Like I feel like a lot of people was not thinking like he wasn't
Yeah,
specifically just trying to kill them three people in that scene. He would have taken any people. Like he would have killed
mhm.
anybody. He'd have probably still done the same thing in the other corner of the building. Like it's just I don't know, bruh. I just feel like a lot of people just completely missed the mark on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it would have been different if Superman was just going around killing everybody.
No,
Like,
I
you
feel
know
like
what I mean?
another. I feel like another main issue that people have with the Snyder Superman was, I guess, they're like, "Oh, he just let civilians die." Well, I was like, "Oh, huh? I mean, okay. I
I
mean,
mean, also it was a terraforming machine. It was killing the whole city at the same time. If he had been able, because I think people forget too, there were two machines. One was on the bottom of the planet, the other one was on the top. He had to take out the one in South America, then fly to Metropolis. Keep in mind, the one in South America had the gravity of Krypton, so he couldn't just fly right over there. He struggled to even take that one down. Then he had to fly back to Metropolis, and the machines were working simultaneously. Citizens was dying all over the place. Like if he had stopped to help even one of them, the the rest of the city still would have been dead. Like I don't really I don't know, bro. I feel like I think the problem is a lot of people grew up off of cartoons and stuff. And yeah, that type of stuff works in cartoon logic. And granted, I get we're talking about superheroes, but like it would have been really weird if he stopped the whole fight with Zod and was like, "Hey, I know you're using a big laser to terraform the city and killing bad people, but I need to go save this person who broke their leg 3 blocks away. Can you stand here and wait till I get back?" Like, what are you talking about? I feel like that was one of the issues with the Joss Whedon cut. They you could tell the studio had some interference on that because they tried to throw a scene like that in. He was fighting the alien dude, Steppenwolf, and in the middle of the fight, he hears these civilians who's just randomly there, by the way. He hears them hurt or whatever, and he goes, civilians, flies away from the fight with Steppenwolf. Justice Lee's just getting smacked. He flies away from the fight, picks them up in the truck, flies them away, and comes back. And yeah, they still won at the end, but dog, it was so it was so jarring to watch that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like,
yeah, it
bruh,
probably would have made
like
more sense to be like, hey, literally anybody else, go save those citizens that I heard yonder." Like,
right, right. You know what I'm saying? It was such a weird narrative thing, and you could tell the studio only put it in to try to appease the people who was mad about Man of Steel. And because like I think even before he got the green light to release the his version, I think somebody even asked Zack Snyder about that part. He was like, "Dog, no, that's not in my movie." Like they had like he's like, "That's stupid." Like that's mad dumb. Like like and I've seen that complaint too of like, oh, he don't save people all through Batman versus Superman before him and Batman started fighting. He was saving people. He was
yeah.
saving people from hurricanes, buildings, all types of stuff. Like even in Man of Steel, before the Kryptonians come, we literally had a whole montage of him saving folks. Like he saved that chick from getting sexually harassed at the diner. He saved them people on that oil platform when it was exploding and everything. Like they showed in the past, he saved them kids and stuff. I think the other thing too that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I feel like people just really misread this scene so crazy, was after he saved them. It was in the flashback after he saved the kids on the bus, and he goes, and Jonathan Kent was yelling at him like, "Yo, bro, we talked about this. You gotta keep them powers in check. Like people starting to
Mm.
see." And he was like, and he says, "What was I supposed to do? Let him die." John Kent, in a moment of weakness, a single moment of weakness, says, "Maybe I don't know." And everybody was like, "Oh my god, they made John Kent a psycho. He wanted kids to die." And I'm just like, "Bruh, did y'all not hear what he said?" He said, "Maybe I don't know." He had a single moment of weakness. He is not an all powerful being. He's a one man who, in a moment of weakness, said a thing and regretted it. Like I don't know. I don't get how so many people misread that scene. People really took that scene as, "Oh yeah, Clark, next time kill him yourself." Like, I was just
Fuck them
like,
kids.
I feel again, I was a teenager when that movie came out, and even I was like, how did y'all
Yeah.
get that from that? Like that was strange to me. I never understood how people got that from that moment. Like I was like, that's weird.
My clock's going off
Yeah.
again. Keep talking.
No, you good, you good. But yeah, nah, man, there was a lot of takes around that time, and that was just like that was real goofy and weird, man. I remember, I remember I remember reading all the stuff on the internet, and I was just like, did we watch the same movie? Like, what's going on? Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know. I never got it. Like, and that's not to say there was never any issues. I just felt like, like I said, what I liked at the time with the DCEU stuff was that it felt really different from the MCU. That's all I
Mm.
really wanted for real for the DC universe, was that it felt different, cuz we don't need the same movies just with a different company's heroes in there.
Mm.
Like, and I was happy for that it felt different. And I don't know, like I said, like I said, at least Superman felt kind of different. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say. I mean, well, I mean, they're gonna be different to me just because it's
right,
different characters. But I mean, I feel what you're saying. It kind of feels like the same, like aesthetic as
right,
the Guardians
right.
of the
That was my
So,
main issue with the Suicide Squad that James Gunn made. Say what you
oh,
will about the
I feel what you mean about that. Suicide Squad too. Yeah, it did have like
it
yeah,
felt like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was straight
right.
like I was just like, this is Guardians of the Galaxy, dog. Like you just copy and pasted Guardians of the Galaxy, my boy. Like that's literally what you did. And like, you know, I know it wasn't the best, but say what you will about the 2016 Suicide Squad, there was no other superhero movie at that time that felt like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I mean,
Especially
like to me, it wasn't
because like
bad.
yeah, I didn't think it was
I
bad
mean,
either. I remember the only thing I had an issue with straight up were two things. A, they Enchantress, they could have done more with Enchantress. Like they didn't really flesh
mm.
her out. And B,
Yeah, that's the only bad thing. It was like the villain was just mid. Like,
right. That was literally my only issue with it. And then B, Killer Croc was way too stereotypical. I was like, hey, come on, dog. Like this is crazy. But other than that, bruh, I remember I was like, this movie is kind of tight. And for real, it sucks too because David Ayer said they pretty much Zack Snydered him too, and the studio had a lot of interference on the movies. 'Cause I think that's the other thing a lot of people don't realize when it came to like the Zack Snyder movies. Like when the studio would go in there and hack stuff up, like there's a reason why people prefer the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman versus the theater one, because that one didn't have all the studio interference. The
mm,
studio was in there hacksawing his movies and stuff. And David Ayer said they did the same thing to him. They said he had whole he said he had whole storylines in there that just never got explored because Warner Brothers came in and hacksawed the movie at the last minute, and it was just like, and David Ayer, dope writer. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like his pen game is proven at this point. And so there was a lot of stuff in there, even with the hacksawed up scripts, that was dope. Like what they did with El Diablo. El Diablo was one of the best characters in the movie, and I had never heard of that character before that
Right.
movie. And El Diablo was fire, no pun intended. Like he was great. Like when they showed that
Yeah, I mean,
flashback,
he was
like,
like the most moral character out of them, I
and
think.
I like too that they felt like villains. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just like, oh, we're misunderstood. It's like, nah, bro, these is bad people.
Right.
Like they was bad.
And and I liked how they kind of like stringed everybody together, like showing them getting
Right,
defeated by their respective heroes.
right. Oh yeah, bro. Will Smith's Deadshot to me, I know for some reason he don't like this role, but Will Smith's Deadshot was probably one of the best. Is up there for me as one of my favorite comic book characters in the movies because like he was hard and like again, okay, compare and contrast, right? Again, with both of the Suicide Squad movies, the storyline with his daughter was way more heartfelt and understanding than the one Idris had with his daughter. Like
Mm.
I didn't even care for real that like I'm just like it was literally the most interaction you get with Idris and his daughter is him screaming at Storm Reed for like 2 minutes where they're just yelling F you to each other. Like I didn't really care at all about Bloodsport and his daughter, but Deadshot and his daughter, like and everybody and and like that scene where he was about to pop Batman in the alley and she stood in between them, it was like, no, please, and begged, like, bruh. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't really get what people didn't see with that movie. Like I think low key after the backlash to Man of Steel, I feel like that universe was already doomed from the
Like kind
beginning.
of,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Because like once people made up their minds about Man of Steel, they never forgave the universe after that. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty much over, dead in the water. Like which is sad because I feel like if they had been able to flesh that joint out, like the fact that we didn't get to see your boy from True Blood, Joe Mangan Yellow as Deathstroke, because
Oh
he
yeah.
looked dope as Deathstroke too. Like his outfit and everything, I was like, yo, he looks dope as Deathstroke, and we didn't get to see him, and I will forever be ticked off about that. Like I'm still mad about that. But hey, it is what it is. Uh, but I feel like that's a good place for us to stop. You know what I mean? We was
Yeah.
chopping it up for a little bit. But hey, we had a dope time and everything on the SOS. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank y'all for coming out. Make sure y'all hit the YouTube for past episodes. Let's hit the Instagrams and everything. Follow us, get our numbers up, share it with your friends, watch the clips, share the clips around. But yeah, I'm B. That's my brother Tenzin. Our other brother Los isn't here today, but he's our other member. And yeah, we out, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
All right.
Oh wait, you got any announcements before we quit?
No real announcements, man. Just shoot, man. Have a good rest of your week, and stream the new EP, of course, and yeah,
Hey,
man.
stream that.
Look out for B on any television show, man. That man been hitting them extra streets. You know what I'm
I'm hoping,
saying?
yeah, I'm hoping to get another joint on there, but we'll see. We'll see if they call me. All right,
All
y'all.
right.
We out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.